the goal is to really critically think and consider what types of information inform that, and that might lead you in very different directions than others in the class. And so thinking about that kind of individually. And then I've also started doing a lot more with the teams themselves as well. Mm-hmm. So in most of my classes, teams are formed. If it's a class where I know it's a core requirement, I form like the second week. Otherwise, it's the day after the drop add date. Teams are formed, right? So regardless of that structure is how we put that together. But I have varying levels of activities for them to do as teams. In one class that's a semester-long project, more intense working together than many of them have had for a longer period of time. I've actually adapted one of the social identity exercises for them to use that as a way of starting to share and learning about each other, and using that to inform a team contract, which I have done in every single class that uses a team. And one huge component of that needs to be how they're going to deal with conflict. But I used to learn at the end of the semester that, this team fell apart because this person worked all week and these two were on a sports team and traveled all weekend and they could never get together. Well, they all wanted to work together, right? But they all assumed that no one else cared and it fell apart. Right? But if those are things, one, that I can include into team formation, but two, that they talk about early and how they're going to function as a team, what they're going to work on, how they're going to talk about conflict, then that hopefully starts off on a right path to avoid some of that. And then I've also started doing evals multiple times over the course of the semester so that I can see if there are teams that might be having challenges. And 9 times out of 10, it's communication, misunderstanding, sometimes different priorities, but often everyone with the best of intentions, and they just need a little facilitation from myself or the GSIs or someone to get them back on track. And I very rarely have had as many problem teams at the end of the semester as you had without some of those structural things. And I think that helps a lot with them getting past the idea that if we're a good team, it means we all like each other and we all agree and everything's happy-go-lucky, into a stage of thinking we can be a good team and disagree and push each other and argue back and forth on what fundamentally is going on and what we should do about it, but in a way that is respectful and with empathy and engagement. And I've found that those are helpful. They clearly don't solve everything, but they help.